2. Shadow had been on the road for about 18 months. He had backpacked across Europe and down into northern Africa. He had picked olives and fished for sardines and driven a truck and sold wine from the side of a road. Finally, several months ago, he had hitchhiked his way back to Norway, to Oslo, where he had been born 35 years before. He was not sure what he had been looking for. He only knew that he had not found it, although there were moments in the high ground, in the crags and waterfalls, when he was certain that whatever he needed was just around the corner, behind a jut of granite, or in the nearest pine wood. Still, it was a deeply unsatisfactory visit, and when, in Bergen, he was asked if he would be half of the crew of a motor yacht on its way to meet its owner in Cannes, he said yes. They had sailed from Bergen to the Shetlands, and then to the Orkneys, where they spent the night in a bed and breakfast in Stromness. Next morning, leaving the harbour, the engines had failed, ultimately and irrevocably, and the boat had been towed back to port. Bjorn, who was the captain and the other half of the crew, stayed with the boat to talk to the insurers and field the angry calls from the boat's owner. Shadow saw no reason to stay. He took the ferry to Thurso, on the north coast of Scotland. He was restless. At night he dreamed of freeways, of entering the neon edges of a city where the people spoke English. Sometimes it was in the Midwest, sometimes it was in Florida, sometimes on the East Coast, sometimes on the West. When he got off the ferry, he bought a book of scenic walks, and picked up a bus timetable, and he set off into the world. Jenny the barmaid came back, and started to wipe all the surfaces with a cloth. Her hair was so blonde it was almost white, and it was tied up at the back in a bun. "So, what is it people do around here for fun?" asked Shadow. "They drink, they wait to die," she said, "or they go south. That pretty much exhausts your options." "You sure?" "Well, think about it. There's nothing up here but sheep and hills. We feed off the tourists, of course, but there's never really enough of you. Sad, isn't it?" Shadow shrugged. "Are you from New York?" she asked. "Chicago originally, but I came here from Norway." "You speak Norwegian?" "A little." "There's somebody you should meet," she said, suddenly. Then she looked at her watch. "Somebody who came here from Norway a long time ago. Come on." She put her cleaning cloth down, turned off the bar lights, and walked over to the door. "Come on," she said again. "Can you do that?" asked Shadow. "I can do whatever I want," she said. "It's a free country, isn't it?" "I guess." She locked the bar with a brass key. They walked into the reception hall. "Wait here," she said. She went through a door marked private and reappeared several minutes later wearing a long brown coat. "Okay, follow me." They walked out into the street. "So is this a village or a small town?" asked Shadow. "It's a fucking graveyard," she said. "Up this way, come on." They walked up a narrow road. The moon was huge and a yellowish-brown. Shadow could hear the sea, although he could not yet see it. "You're Jenny," he said. "That's right. And you?" "Shadow." "Is that your real name?" "It's what they call me." "Come on then, Shadow," she said. At the top of the hill, they stopped. They were on the edge of the village, and there was a grey stone cottage. Jenny opened the gate and led Shadow up a path to the front door. He brushed a small bush at the side of the path, and the air filled with the scent of sweet lavender. There were no lights on in the cottage. "Whose house is this?" asked Shadow. "It looks empty." "Don't worry," said Jenny. "She'll be home in a second." She pushed open the unlocked front door, and they went inside. She turned on the light switch by the door. Most of the inside of the cottage was taken up by a kitchen sitting room. There was a tiny staircase leading up to what Shadow presumed was an attic bedroom. A CD player sat on the pine counter. "This is your house," said Shadow. "Home sweet home," she agreed. "You want coffee? Or something to drink?" "Neither," said Shadow. He wondered what Jenny wanted. She had barely looked at him, hadn't even smiled at him. "Did I hear right? Was Dr. Gaskell asking you to help look after a party on the weekend?" "I guess." "So what are you doing tomorrow?"